We go from the wheelhouse of the Pegasus to the Pacific Queen, where Megan put in an awful lot of hard work to become a captain. Congratulations. Hey, good Tuesday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. We have got so much to cover with you all. We've got a boat that just got a jig strike on bluefin tuna, and you just saw that happen because that was the wheelhouse of the Pegasus. They are offshore looking around. Very tough fishing on the bluefin scene. We'll cover that and much more for you all. We've got yellows at San Clemente Island, some halibut up there in the Channel Islands. We've got so much to cover with you all. Good morning, my friends. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning. That was so good. Congratulations to Captain Megan on the Pacific Queen. You saw her get dunked in the water, and she's put a lot of hard work into becoming a captain, and we send all our very best to her from Friedman Adventures. Great job indeed. And of course, we are also watching the situation south of the border for you. But before we get into all of that and more, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done it, share this report with someone you love this morning, and also tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Tonight, Tackle Shop Confessions. Sam De La Torre and I will be live at 6 p.m. this evening from Carson, California at Island Fishing Tackle. You can ask Sam any question you like about tackle or fishing or anything, and he'll be happy to answer it. And of course, we're hungry, so we're hoping somebody sends us some food. Actually, we're getting too much food, and we deeply appreciate all that you do for us down there at Tackle Shop Confessions. All right, my friends, let's get into it with you. We opened up with that shot of the wheelhouse of the Pegasus, getting a jig strike. You could see the water temperature where they were. That is very interesting to me because I'm still thinking we're going to catch some albacore. Overall, the bluefin tuna situation out of Baja California, where the pongueros are fishing, and up in San Diego is still excruciatingly slow. It's not to say that some guys are not catching some fish, but overall, it's tough. And it pains me to say that because I've got a lot of friends in this industry. I want them to do well, and it's just a really tough time. But it is temporary. Listen, please, they are seeing copious, huge schools of bluefin tuna. It's foamers now, it's breezers, it's big sonar marks, as you saw on board the Pegasus this morning. There's a lot of fish. It's just a matter of time till they turn on. Why aren't they biting? Well, that is an age-old question when you're talking about bluefin tuna. God only knows why they're not. I have surmised that perhaps it's water temperature, but people will point out, well, they were biting earlier this year pretty darn good in that colder water, and that is a point well taken. I get that. But overall, bluefin in general bite better when the water gets a little warmer, like 65 and up. And when you get into the 70-degree area, wow, they really like to chew then. So fingers crossed that maybe that jig strike on the Pegasus turns into something. We had to come on board here with the morning briefing right after he had that jig strike, and his sonar was all lit up. That was a beautiful sight. We thank the guys on the Pegasus for sharing that with us, and hopefully it's going to come together here very, very soon. Our dear friend, wonderful person, great angler, Jolene Thompson. She just finished up a trip on the Pacific Voyager. She said Mark Ornos, the captain, is absolutely beyond great. He went down the Baja coast, and they looked around in a different area where there was very little boat pressure, and they ended up with 16 people catching 16 bluefin tuna in the 20 to 73 pound class for a 2-day trip. They made squid down there. Man, I'll tell you, how long has it been since you've heard of making squid down the Baja coast? It's been a while. The water's been way too warm in previous years to make a lot of squid. There's been squid made, but man, this is just this cold water year. And that's why we have a different scenario this year. We are presented by Mother Nature with an entirely different type of environment here in SoCal and northern Baja. Colder water, and it's manifesting itself in squid and a good sea bass bite and halibut and all of those things that we'll get into in just a moment. But it's a different year, and it may be a throwback to when I was a kid, like, a million years ago. And hopefully we're going to see some albacore, and hopefully that bluefin's going to kick into gear here very, very soon. There's even been a yellowfin tuna here and there. One on the Legend recently to just confuse matters even more. A little bit of kelp patty yellowtail also down there in San Diego. Chris Nakashi with a 170-pound bluefin tuna on the Royal Star, but he said it was slow fishing, kind of a plunker bite where it doesn't really get going all that well. Chris is a great guy. Chris, good morning to you, my friend, and I'm so happy you were able to put that beautiful, gorgeous fish on the boat. Once again, bury your tackle. You need 2-speed reels with 100 to 130 pounds. There's a lot of fish. It's just not biting right now. Full day trips that leave in the morning, come back in the evening, are having some slower fishing also. Hopefully, it's going to get going here very, very soon. We'll continue to watch it. So 2-speed reel, 100 to 130 pound, 60 to 80 pound rod, and something like 25 to 30 pound to fish the kelps with. That all will do you really, really well. Captain Eddie Leland. I wanted to bring you a little update on Eddie. Of course, he is in a battle with prostate cancer. Many of you know him. He ran boats there for decades. And I went for a nice long walk with Eddie yesterday. We walked over a mile and met some really nice people. So I just want to remind you, I'll keep Eddie in your thoughts and prayers. He could use them right now for sure. All right, let's get up to talking about kind of the islands up in this neck of the woods. San Clemente Island, foot on the gas, foot off the gas. Big score of yellowtail one day, and then met with no yellowtail the next. So it's still inconsistent, but it has shown some significant signs of life. We were just there on the Apollo and had really good sheep's head and whitefish fishing. We saw yellows, caught one, I think, the day we were at San Clemente Island. We've seen scores like up to 50 on the Thunderbird recently, and then yesterday a little bit slower, or a lot slower. They saw yellows but didn't manage any, but they're still able to get good rockfish in the sacks, provide excellent table fare, and that's really important. So once again, over there at San Clemente Island, you've been fishing 25-pound fluorocarbon, www.optionusa.com, with a good hot fly line sardine with some surface iron fish. The Fury's been on that. The Tornado's been on that. Several boats have been over there. Most of them are picking a few yellows every day with all those other fish that I just mentioned, but every once in a while, a big score on the yellows. Also, Catalina Island. We have seen some really good white sea bass fishing, but Catalina, being so close to the coast, is susceptible to boat pressure at times. Now, there's not only sea bass, there are yellowtail also at Catalina Island. And sometimes those little yellowtail do not want to bite anything approaching heavy string. So 15-pound test, fluorocarbon is the best way to go. 20, 25 at times, that's what you want to do. And choosing that good hot bait makes all the difference in the world. A few yellows over there at Cat, and every once in a while an explosion of white sea bass. And as I pointed out yesterday and hold to today, the next couple of days is when the moon phase is going to be really, really awesome. It's going to be perfect to get a good sea bass bite. There's been halibut, there's been those yellowtail. Hopefully that's going to turn on. It could be today. Remember, there will be grunion on these beaches tonight and tomorrow night. If you want the kids to experience something like that, that is always really, really great. So a mix of fish at Cat. Sometimes they bite, sometimes they don't. And there is a little bit of boat pressure starting to show up there right now. Freelance was there yesterday with 2 yellowtail. So there is a little bit of a bite going on, and at times it gets good. The Pursuit, as I said, had some really excellent fishing here recently. Native Sun, 22nd Street Landing out of San Pedro, also playing around with the yellowtail, so there's been some decent scores around town. Up in the Channel Islands, they had a little bit of off conditions, but still some great fishing. Aloha Spirit, 18 guys, 17 halibut, nice shot for them. Coral Sea, they had some conditions that were not perfect. They had 4 halibut and decent rock fishing for 21 anglers. There are copious amounts of white sea bass up there in the Channel Islands right now, and I mean a lot. So there's been some good halibut scores, some good sea bass scores, and always plenty of rockfish to help round out your catch. And man, I'll tell you, there's nothing better than that. We're going through this stretch now of really nice weather. The forecast is for wind on the weekend. That's a long ways off. Sometimes they miss on those forecasts, but right now is a beautiful time to be on the water. It's gorgeous here this morning, man. There's not a breath of wind. It's beautiful, and it's looking like maybe things will kick into gear. So let's hope the Pegasus had gone into a good stop. As you looked out of the wheelhouse and could see back there that we had a jig strike in that perfect water, 63-degree water. It looks gorgeous for I'm not even going to mention it again. Albacore. I did mention it. And hopefully we'll see that flood in here one of these days. But in the meantime, there's just so much bluefin around, and that could definitely settle in and bite sometime soon. As always, it is a pleasure to be with you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share these videos, subscribe, and tick the bell. And tonight, 6 p.m., I'll be with Sam De La Torre for Tackle Shop Confessions, live from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California. Thanks, everybody. Hey, have a great morning. Hope to see you soon, and take care.